Hey guys, it's Red here, and you already know what this is about. You read the title and saw the thumbnail, and yeah, part 2 is absolutely washed. Kidding, that's just what people have been saying, and I'm kinda just clickbaiting you with this video. But not really, I just wanted to make this video. I don't know if it will turn out to be good, but honestly, this was bound to happen. Like, this is practically a seasonal thing, as stuff like this has already happened. Like when Asa and Death went to save Denji, and close to the end of the Aging Devil arc. And chapter 227 was the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, I haven't really seen that many people hate, in quotations, on the chapter since this one. Mainly because it was building up. I just don't really see posts like this before in the previous chapters. I mean, there was already hate and stuff, but just not as much as like what happened with this one. Currently, in the Fujimoto cycle, we're in the abysmal dogshit section, probably transitioning into the Kill Fujimoto one, in Minecraft by the way. Anyways, this is just how it's been going on with part 2, and it will probably continue until the end of the series. However, before I continue, this will be the last video I make as a 21-year-old. I assume I will upload this on Tuesday, so tomorrow, or the 28th of January, is my 22nd birthday. So please hype up this video and like and subscribe as a little gift for me since I'll be 22. So you can help me go to 2,200 subs, or even 22k. But just like and subscribe, I really appreciate your support. Either way, I'm gonna start off by saying that this is technically my third video on the series like this. However, this one will be a bit more different, mainly focusing on the community. I will be touching on some things that I've said in the previous videos, so go check them out after this one. Links in the description and the cards above. So, how do I start this? Well, I'll start off with my own opinions. I don't think that the series is going that bad. I'll explain my reasoning in a bit, but I will say that I have two criticisms / disappointments. One is simply the short chapters makes the series drag on a bit, and the other is the art. Obviously, the one thing everyone can agree on is that the art is definitely not the same quality as before, from late part 1 to early part 2. I don't include mistakes like in this chapter with Asa, but I do think that Fujimoto's new art style can look great. But this chapter does feel a little rough and hard to follow with the action. Like, admittedly, I had a somewhat tough time, following the action when I first read the chapter. This makes a bit of sense as Pochita and possibly Locust, or Parasite. Thank you, Starkey, for showing me this theory. Link to the original post in the description. And also, not the last time I'll mention you. Anyways, their designs kinda make it hard to see, at least on mobile / on a smaller screen. I looked at the chapter on my computer and it was a lot more clear to see what was going on, so I think it's mainly cause your phone is a smaller screen that makes it harder to follow, as you'll miss out on some details. It's also possible that the volume release will make it look better, like with adding some additional detail, and I think that the art always looks better physically. Either way, I won't be talking about the art style or art in general for this video, cause while some people complain, the main problem I've seen with the current chapters is the pacing. While some people don't say it, it's literally the pacing. It all boils down to it. So let's talk about it. After I talk about the types of posts / posters I've seen / believe are around. Firstly, I like to split this into 3 categories. The haters, the glazers, and the normal ones. I feel like this kind of fills all the spots surrounding online posters, so I'll start off with the normal ones. Personally, I would put myself there, but to be honest, everyone would say that they're normal, so if I try to be objective, I simply won't consider myself as one. This section of people are kinda rare, in the way that I feel like I've seen normal people talk about the chapters, but at the same time, I don't remember or even have any posts to show. Why? Well, it's because normal posts simply don't get popular. I will say that the normal ones are people who usually give the series fair criticism. They could be huge fans, but still admit that the series has problems. This also includes the people who don't engage with the community online, like they aren't super fans or they just don't care much about the community outside of liking and seeing fan art to watching a couple videos on Chainsaw Man every so often. And speaking of that, why not hype up this video, like and subscribe to stay up to date with my videos. I'm planning on doing more things outside of Chainsaw Man, so check those out too. Let me know what you think or have any recommendations in the comments below. Sorry, the YouTuber and me have that to say. Anyways, I won't really focus on the normal ones. They're just the average reader who either has something to say sometimes or nothing at all. I think that these are a majority of the readers, as the next two are the vocal minority. So out of the remaining two, I'll go with the haters. I'm generalizing here. This is just the title of this section. I don't believe that they're all hating just to hate. Some can just be rage baiting, like some JJK fans to One Piece profile pictures and Demon Slayer fans. Even YouTubers rage bait. A little bit like me in this video. It can even involve people who call Chainsaw Man a Gooner series / don't understand the themes of the series, though I think most of the time it's rage bait or even something like jealousy, cause Chainsaw Man is better than Demon Slayer. We got the better story, better movie, better characters. Some could even think that they're completely correct in their beliefs and are just hating to hate. Like how Makima believed that she was justified and correct. Honestly, these are the posts that tend to get the most attention from other haters to the glazers. It makes sense as hate gets the most attention, like racist, homophobic posts, usually from right-wing posters / grifters, tend to get the most interaction. It's like rubbernecking, aka watching a car crash / wreck. Simply, these get the most attention, and the reason why you see more of these hate posts and why they get more popular is like writing a review for a restaurant or store. I think that you're more inclined to leave a negative review if you had negative experience, while those with fine, mediocre, or even good experiences don't really think of writing a review because the place was probably already rated 4 point something stars. The inverse is also true. People review if it was like a life-changing experience or just phenomenal. But I'll talk about that later. This is just to say that hate posts are more prevalent because people like watching and some people like to argue. For the most recent chapters, I've seen stuff like that one video of someone speed reading chapter 226, I'm pretty sure. This one is just an extension to the post talking about how the Pochita Yoru fight is dragging on too long. And these posts are mainly because of the pacing. There's another post talking about how the fight is technically still shorter than the final part 1 fight. I want to also add that the reason why it feels like it's dragging on and on could be two things. One could be that people feel frustrated that the story isn't resolved. It feels long because we read the chapter weekly or bi-weekly. Like this week was a break week. So people think the pacing sucks because of real life time passing and the chapters are objectively shorter. As the previous post said, the current arc averages about 15 pages per week, while before it used to be 19. So that really does mess people up. While there are more chapters, there are less pages per chapter. So it does feel like it drags on too long. Another form of criticism I've seen is the cliffhanger stuff and how nothing much has changed from the beginning with there not being any payoff on the next chapter. And I guess that they're right. It does feel like we're back at square one and that the cliffhangers are a little overboard. Like Locust seemed tough, yet this chapter ended with Pochita erasing him and Yoru shooting Denji Man again. And I agree, it does feel a bit repetitive, but what this other post I've seen explains that the quote-unquote cliffhangers just lead directly to the next chapter. And yeah, that's just how it's supposed to be. The only one that felt a bit outrageous was the one where Yoru looked like she was going to shoot Yoshida, but just shot the wall. With the cliffhangers and break weeks, it also leads to people getting unrealistic expectations when they speculate on the next chapter. Like Yoru turning the moon into a weapon, but then it turns out that it was the US flag, which brings back the other post where the chapters fit together and it makes sense as to why the cliffhanger and the beginning of the next chapter pay off. But again, some people feel disappointed that the next chapter wasn't super crazy or whatever. But this does lead into a reason why. Firstly, it's a weekly series. Of course, the chapters are going to end like that. Fujimoto wants readers to return. This shit happens with Kagurabachi too. Another reason, and one that people could say that Fujimoto never thought of, and I'm just giving excuses for Fujimoto, is that it could be a commentary on war. It gets repetitive, it gets boring, and why is that? It's because that's just how war is. It's not fun. It's just people going in masses to essentially be sacrificed just because people in power suck. Trump. Anyways, this gets me to believe that Yoru will either not shoot Denji or Asa stops her. And the Parasite theory could happen / Denji finds out that it was a mistake consuming devils he doesn't know anything about and how it messes with the world. But again, it could be something different. Also, this is to mention that the Death Devil is gone, so characters can't kill each other, which is why it seems like it's getting repetitive because no one can die, so they keep on fighting and fighting and fighting. Other, stuff / criticism is that people want Denji to look for power, or that the Locust Devil was just a nothing burger that isn't setting anything up when it probably is. But yeah, a lot of the quote-unquote hate does seem like criticism, but you can, find the answers to their doom posting, or that it's their opinion and not a fact. So why not go on the opposite end with the Glazers? These are the people that would worship the ground Fujimoto walks on, essentially making up reasons as to why the haters are wrong, or try to justify what is happening by telling them to trust the process. So, not me. Kidding, I essentially did that like not even a minute ago. Though some people can just be rage baiting or shit posting. It really doesn't matter. You can't really find very egregious posts because, like I said before, the hate posts gather the most attention from the controversy. But you can find the Glazers in the comments of those posts. Hell, some of you guys can see the post I use countering the other hater posts as glazing, and you'd be somewhat right. You can see it that way, and I can't really blame you. Some Glazers also hate on other series and compare Chainsaw Man to them and call Chainsaw Man better, even if they are objectively correct with most of those posts. I even did that before when I talked about Demon Slayer. I mean, it's like a 7 out of 10 series. It's not that bad, kinda enjoyable. Either way, some other posts that I can see as glazing is telling the haters to just drop the manga, and then joking about the reactions they get after telling them to stop reading the manga. And to be honest with you guys, I agree with them, with an asterisk. If you're reading the manga and you're clearly not liking it, then drop it. Don't read it if you're not liking the way it's going. Just drop it. So either way, here is where I disagree with the point. The way you said it just isn't great. Because why would they drop the series if they're fans of it? I believe, I hope that most people complaining just want to see the series do better and they just can't word it in that way. I think Night Sky put it a little bit better. Drop it for a little bit, then read it in bulk after a while / when the arc ends / until the end of part 2. Either way, I believe that you don't really have the right to tell people what to read or what not to read. Honestly, while I do agree with the statement, it does come off as gatekeeping or even a little elitist. And making fun of them or joking about them getting angry simply makes them hate the community even more and be more critical or even hate the series even more unfairly than before, which continues the toxic cycle. And I'll also like to add that a lot of people probably won't drop it even if they're not liking how the series is currently going because of FOMO. And all of that continues in a toxic cycle. This also goes to people who hate on others for liking part 2. Ultimately, you're all strangers to each other and you don't really have any right to tell them what to like or do. Hell, I don't even have the right either. I'm being biased. I'm a stranger too. You don't need to take my word for anything or even listen to me. So do whatever the hell you want. Also, before I finish this section, I'd like to show these two posts as I agree with them, as if this happened in part 2, people would hate it. But it does seem like a little bit of glazing, to be honest. Either way, I just wanted to be a bit more fair and less biased. Even when I agree, I have to say that it could be rude or not helpful at all to tell those people to quit the series. But whatever. Where does that leave me? Well, some could say that I'm a glazer. Like, I gave reasons and possible excuses to why the manga is like this. But I would say that I and other theorists like Starkey, we are Charlie. Okay. What I was gonna say is we're the exception. While we do lean towards Glaze territory, I just think that we are a little bit different because I think that we look at the manga differently. Hell, a lot of content creators do, but especially the theorists, in my opinion. Ultimately, I think we see it differently as we try to predict things or even think of things that could happen. We kind of just write it out because we're dedicated enough, or stupid enough to do it. And we continue to make content because we can. Though, overall, to be more realistic, at least I can admit that I'm in the glazing category. But what's next to talk about? Well, I think some people should just take a break from the series. I think that most of us were used to speed reading all of part 1, so we skipped all the agonizing buildup and got all the satisfaction at once. I saw this other post, and this is this person's account. I'm not saying that they're correct, but it does seem like part 1 went through this as well. I think that we just got it worse due to more people being fans from the anime, like me, to the fact that chapters are indeed shorter. People also act like each chapter is the very last. Like nothing matters and we should just get every answer in the series in one 14-page chapter. This fits with the speed reading again. We got the full setup and payoff at once since part 1 was complete, while part 2 is currently ongoing, so we don't get the payoff yet. Ultimately, I think a lot of people didn't want part 2. They just wanted part 1 2.0. People say Yoru is nowhere near Makima, and they're right. Makima is a great villain, if not one of the best. It's just that Yoru is not supposed to be Makima. In fact, Death is closer as she's the one who essentially has connections with most of the antagonistic forces in part 2, and was the reason essentially all of part 2 happened. I wouldn't be surprised that people finally look past her goofiness when it's revealed that Death planned more than she has already said. I think people had unrealistic beliefs for part 2. It isn't trying to be part 1, especially with the characters. Again, I talked about this in this video, but to cut to the point, the reason why we got attached to Aki Power and even some of the sidecast in part 1 is because Makima wanted Denji to form those connections and take them away and make them more painful. We see the story in Denji's perspective, and we do the same in part 2 with Asa as well. In part 2, we don't have those connections because Denji and Asa just don't have any friends or loved ones aside from each other. And when they do get those types of connections, they die, making us think that they're wasted potential and wanting more of them, just like Asa and Denji. Fujimoto has written this way because that's just how he wants to tell his story. I even think that he did say that he wanted part 2 to be different from part 1. But whatever, I think I got my point straight. Let's go back to the beginning with the Fujimoto cycle. We're right here, transitioning to or already at the Kill Fujimoto stage. However, we'll eventually hit the absolute cinema section when all the buildup pays off and people call Fujimoto a genius. The fans who stuck by him or glazed him feel justified, while the haters either stay quiet, say that they were wrong, or say that they always believed in him. This really did happen before. There was a lull after the aging arc ended, and before the death reveal and the fake saw/fire reveal. I've played these games before. Eventually, as the payoff continues, we go into the let him cook stage, which eventually goes to the abysmal dogshit stage when the arc and chapters seem to drag on and on and on and on, which just continues the cycle. And maybe then I'll make another video like this. Like, imagine I just re-upload the exact same video and script with the only changes being the topical stuff I talked about, like the chapter 227 stuff. I'd honestly love that because it'll be really easy. Either way, the last thing I have to say is Chainsaw Man fans are absolutely the worst and I hate them all. Okay, I'm kidding, but only a little bit because I don't hate my fans and other people like Starkey. But yeah, that's all I have for today. I decided to do a little different with this one to help me see if I needed a whole block of text every second. Thank you for listening me ramble on about something as dumb and stupid as drama, and I hopefully got my point across. Honestly, this is just gonna blow over when we get a crazy reveal from all that build up. Or maybe Fujiwater absolutely fumbles the story. But let me know what you think in the comments below. I really appreciate it, and even if you have any feedback to improve my videos. Make sure to hype up this video, it really does help me out a lot, and if you want to help me out some more, leave a like and subscribe to let me know that you did enjoy, and hopefully you get me to 5k and many more subs. Also, many thanks to the channel members like Demencia and their fellow tier 1 member. I really do appreciate the support. If you want to join them, why not become a channel member for $2 for a tier 1 membership or $3 for a tier 2. It's my birthday on the 28th, so that could be your gift. Plus, you could get some other cool perks from being a member. If you have more disposable income and actually want to spend your money on me, you can also give me a super thanks / super chat. You don't need to do it, but I'd really appreciate the support. Follow me on Twitter. I don't post much, but that would be the only place you could find me if something were to ever happen to my channel, or if you just want to DM me any recommendations or whatever. So yeah, I hate you all. Kidding. So thanks for watching.